Here are two types of farmers in this world. The first works hard all year, grows common crops, earns average income, and repeats the same cycle again and again. The second type chooses smarter crops, high-value crops, crops that don't just grow but multiply income. And the shocking truth is, most people don't fail because they are lazy. They fail because they are growing the wrong things. In this video, you'll discover 10 high-value crops that most people ignore. But the people who grow them quietly build serious income. Some of these crops require very little land. Some grow fast, and some can earn for years after planting once. If you're serious about farming, side income, or even starting from your backyard, this might be the most important video you watch. Let's begin. 1. Saffron, the red gold. Imagine growing something that is more expensive than gold per gram. That's saffron. Saffron is often called red gold because of its extremely high market value. It comes from a delicate flower, and each flower produces only a few threads. That's why it's expensive. But here's the opportunity. Very few farmers grow saffron because they think it's difficult. But in reality, with the right conditions, it can be grown even in small spaces. It doesn't need huge land. It doesn't need heavy machinery. It needs patience and proper care. The best part: once you plant the bulbs, they can produce for multiple years, and demand is always high in food, medicine, and even cosmetics. If you're not growing saffron, you're ignoring one of the highest value crops in the world. 2. Aloe vera, the healing goldmine. Now, let's talk about a plant that almost grows itself. Aloe vera. This is not just a plant. It's an industry, used in skincare, health products, juices, and medicines. Aloe vera is in constant demand, and here's the best part. It requires very little water, it survives in tough conditions, and once planted, it keeps producing again and again. You don't need to replant it every season. Farmers who understand its value supply directly to cosmetic companies, herbal brands, and local markets. It's simple, low cost, low maintenance, high demand. Yet most people ignore it because it looks too common, and that's exactly why it's a hidden goldmine. 3. Quinoa, the super grain. A few years ago, almost no one knew about quinoa. Today, it's a global superfood. Rich in protein, gluten-free, and extremely healthy. Quinoa demand has exploded worldwide, and here's the opportunity. In many regions, supply is still limited, which means higher prices. Quinoa grows in harsh conditions. It doesn't require perfect soil, and it has strong export potential. Health-conscious people are willing to pay premium prices for it, so while others grow traditional grains, smart farmers are shifting to quinoa because they understand one thing: health trends equals future profits. 4. Mushrooms, fast cash crop. If you want fast income, mushrooms are one of the best choices. Why? Because they grow incredibly fast. Some varieties can be harvested in just a few weeks. You don't need big land. You can grow them indoors. Even a small room is enough, and the demand. Restaurants, hotels, supermarkets. Everyone needs mushrooms, especially organic mushrooms. The profit margins are high because the production cycle is short, but many people avoid it because they think it's complicated. It's not. It just requires basic setup and humidity control. Once you learn it, it becomes a repeatable income system. 5. Moringa. The miracle tree. Moringa is often called the miracle tree, and for good reason. Every part of this tree is useful: leaves, pods, seeds. Everything has value. That it's used in health supplements, powders, oils, and even animal feed. The tree grows fast, it survives in dry conditions, and it can be harvested multiple times a year. This is not just farming, this is a long-term income asset. People around the world are discovering moringa's benefits, and demand is rising rapidly. If you plant moringa today, you're not just planting a tree, you're planting future income. 6. Stevia, natural sugar. Alternative sugar is everywhere, but now people are moving away from it. They want healthier alternatives. That's where stevia comes in. Stevia is a natural sweetener with 0 calories, and its demand is growing globally. Food companies, beverage brands, and health-conscious consumers are all looking for it. It grows well in many climates, and once established, it can be harvested multiple times. This is a perfect example of a crop aligned with future trends, because as health awareness increases, stevia demand will only rise. 7. Almonds. Premium dry fruit crop. Almonds are not just a crop, they are a long-term investment. Yes, they take time to grow, but once the trees mature, they produce for years, and the income consistent and high-value. Almonds are always in demand for snacks, oils, sweets, and exports. People underestimate tree-based farming, but this is where real wealth is built. Patience is required, but the rewards are long-lasting. 8. Lavender. The fragrant business. Lavender is not just beautiful, it's profitable, used in perfumes, oils, cosmetics, and aromatherapy. Lavender has a strong global market, and here's the interesting part. It doesn't need very fertile soil. It can grow in conditions where other crops fail. Low water requirement. Low maintenance, but high value. Farmers who extract lavender oil earn even more, because the real profit is in processing. This is not just farming, this is entering a premium industry. 9. Strawberries. High profit per acre. Strawberries are a high-value fruit. They require care, but they pay well. Short growing cycle, high demand, and premium pricing, especially if you sell directly to markets or consumers. Fresh strawberries. Organic strawberries. Even strawberry-based products, there are multiple income streams. It's intensive, but highly rewarding. 10. Exotic vegetables. Untapped market. Finally, the biggest hidden opportunity. Exotic vegetables. Broccoli, zucchini, bell peppers, lettuce varieties. Hotels, restaurants, and urban markets are constantly looking for these, but supply is limited in many areas, which means higher prices. These crops can be grown in controlled environments, or even small farms. The key is understanding your local market, because sometimes the highest profit is not in what everyone grows, but in what no one else is growing. So here's the truth. Farming is not just about working harder, it's about choosing smarter. The difference between average income and high income is often just one decision. What you decide to grow. Most people stay stuck because they follow the crowd. But the people who grow different crops, the right crops, they quietly build wealth. Now the choice is yours. Will you keep growing the same low-value crops, or will you switch to something that can change your income? If you found this valuable, make sure to subscribe, because on this channel, we don't just talk about plants, we talk about plants that make you money.